I would make it this far. They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah.
This episode of Noonish is brought to you by Ethos MetaFest. Come EMF with us August 12th and 13th. Home Vita Mattress Outlet. Go to the website below, enter code Noonish10 for 10% off your next purchase. And come and join the fun today here on Noonish. Welcome, everybody, our Noonish friends and family. Yeah, man, very, very excited to have this good show today. Got a lot to talk about, some cool topics, some unfortunate topics. But, it's going to be a great show. And I am your host, J.A., a.k.a. Jonathan Anderson. And for a second, I'm going to do something for my uncle right here. Please go out there and like, share, and subscribe to this thing, man. If you like it, man, go on and click the button. Then share it with a friend and make sure y'all both subscribe, and then we multiply that thing out until, we got like, a million plus, subscribers, Isn't that the goal?
I'm glad we got somebody smart enough to remember that.
Yeah.
Finally.
Hey, had to put it on me, you know what I'm saying? Let me know, hey, you're slipping, dog, you slipping.
Because you didn't ever do it. I don't ever do it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but I had your backup. I was ready to do some public service announcements. I was ready to do. I already had it in my mind. I said, he don't do it, I'm going to come with it.
Hey,
call it out.
It's stuck, man. It's stuck.
Yeah.
That's what it's here for. That's what we're here for.
Oh, yeah.
But also joining me today, our awesome co-host, El Grande Toro, back in the building. Mr. Jonas Bull, what's going down, man?
Back from Bentonville.
Yes, sir. We got to talk about that.
And with new tires.
And with new tires. Yeah, no lump. Because,
That's right.
CY was like, hey, it almost, we didn't let her talk too much smack.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Jonas. It's we now. Last week,
right.
It wasn't we.
Right.
It was only me trying to hold up for you, Jonas. I'm going to tell the real truth.
I was just saying. I didn't know why. I didn't know why you didn't come and handle that conversation, but that was fun, though. That was fun.
That would have been a good one. We could have had knockdown, drag out.
Hey, it'll happen again, We will have round three. Yeah. We will have round three at some point. But if you don't know, now you're about to know. Also joining us are awesome other co-host, my uncle, Mr. Ronald Boulware. I'm going to call him Unc all show. So
the voice of wisdom.
Yeah,
Hey, I've been called worse. Yeah. So, hey, I used to tell them like this, I don't care what you call me, just call me.
Yeah. Call me something.
Yeah, just call me.
Yeah.
That's what I say, just don't call me late for dinner.
Yeah. No,
don't call me late for dinner.
Yeah, I need to be on time for that. But yeah, man, we got a very cool show, man. Jonas, what was you in Bentonville, Arkansas? Is it?
World Food Competition.
That's home of Walmart.
It is home of Sam's Club as well.
Isn't that all the same family?
Let us not be confused.
Absolutely.
It is the same family, but it is two separate corporations.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
And their marketing departments are very clear on that.
Yeah, and I mentioned that on purpose. I knew it was Sam's.
Yeah. But yeah, Sam's Club was the main sponsor of World Food Competition this year. When I say World Food Competition, we can legit say world because the winner this year was Australian.
Oh wow!
Oh, okay.
What did
they
John
prepare? McFadden, Chef John McFadden is a brilliant chef. It's we talk about ball players and we talk about boxers and being clinical and being precise and execution.
He sounds like an amazing chef.
He is. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Like he's like a machine. He's a machine. Like he's a robot. He may be a robot.
So when I'm giving lessons to
but a robot with a cool accent
to my youngsters, I'm like, let's be a machine. If this thing is on the tee, you should be able to hit it in the same place every time, like a machine would. Let's get there. And I love the analogy.
And you have to build those processes there. So it was cool to watch. They had to do kind of their kind of a signature challenge. They had to pick one of 3 or 4 proteins and make something with that, and then they had to duplicate Chef Rafael Rios at Yayo's. If you're ever in Bentonville, you need to try that.
And what's his name again?
Chef Rafael Rios.
Gotcha.
And the restaurant is Yayo's. There's also
Yayo.
Mescaleria, which is a mezcal bar.
Mescaleria.
Yeah. And
It's
if Chef Rios invites you to drink with him, don't.
That man can drink. That man can put him down. Pick him up and put him down.
Yeah.
Like Carl
But
Lewis.
yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time, and then the final thing they had to do was there's a museum there that has a restaurant in it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you may be thinking, like I thought, restaurant in a museum, that's gonna be some cheap nachos and stuff.
It's probably really nice.
No. It's a nice place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
it's
type of
nice.
food do they serve in a museum restaurant?
So they have little appetizers and drinks, and they have full bar there.
I'm saying like they got like some special like fish or something, or
So they
out of the
had
Ozarks?
no, it's not necessarily out of the Ozarks per se, but they have everything from shrimp, like shrimp is one of them. That's not what I intended to say.
Is this like fried shrimp or like some,
no,
some nicely
not fried. They have like a ceviche, and then they have
nice.
some like braised scallops, and then they have a brisket dish, and a bunch of things.
This is some good eating.
Things. And they're beautifully plated, and just it's a really nice place.
Nice.
And I apologize, I'm drawing a blank on the chef's name that runs that.
But what was the name of the place where you can go see this?
11.
11. Okay.
Yeah.
At 11 in Bentonville?
11 in Bentonville. It's in the Crystal Bridges
Nice.
Museum.
And what type of museum is Crystal Bridges? Like, that sounds
Art for the most part.
nice.
So they have a pretty big collection going back to early days of the U.S. on up through modern art. Not all U.S., but that's sort of the beginning point.
Yeah. Crystal Bridges sounds like a beautiful bridge.
That's what I thought. I was thinking, well, it's going to be a bridge museum. That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
No, they have a bridge, but it has nothing to do with the.
It did
sorry.
everything to do with crystals.
Well,
I think they had some crystals there.
Oh, okay.
But like some stuff with crystals in
when I
it.
think of a crystal bridge, I think of something that is transparent,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it's a bridge from one place to another. So bridging the gap between now and then is what is how I.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm still not clear. Not at all clear on why it's named Crystal
Yeah,
Bridges.
but it's a beautiful name though.
It's a beautiful, if slightly misleading name. But the food is not misleading at all. The food is delicious, and so they had to recreate a selection of those dishes, and it was really interesting, really fun.
Yeah.
I've been doing this for several years now, and the competition at this level was the most intense and
Wow.
the tightest that I've ever seen.
So I mean, what type of
Anywhere.
dishes were they making?
Anywhere.
What they make? Because I know the one that I went to, they made some pretty.
Yeah, it
And
makes
it
it
was
makes some
pretty
dope stuff.
intense, and it was some pretty.
And
pretty
so,
nice
so like
dishes.
we had one guy, local guy. He's actually down in San Angelo. Peter Amandieres had made. So it's the first dish was supposed to be what they call a mousse bouche, which is basically
Sounds
a
fluffy and
tiny
light.
little appetizer. Well, light, yes.
Yeah.
It is supposed to be small.
Moose boosh.
But then they were told that maybe you need to make it a little bit bigger. So there was some variation on the size of the dish. But he took brisket and took little
This was a part of his moose boosh.
yeah. So he took
I
brisket,
wasn't thinking brisket.
sliced it down in nice thin little slices, seasoned it, put it on a little what do you call those little things that
Hawaiian roll.
not a Hawaiian roll, but a croissant.
Oh,
Like a
croissant.
croissant.
Yeah, I was gonna say that first, but
Like sliced the croissant and toasted it and put that on top of it and put some, some mushrooms and poached quail's egg and had a little, it was a beautiful presentation. It was
it's like a
it
little
was really nice.
sandwich.
Like a little sandwich, but like a nice little sandwich.
Yeah.
And it was really good. It actually did not do well. So you think about that. It was beautiful. Everything tasted good. There was nothing wrong with it.
But he didn't.
There was just others that were.
Yeah, not as
that much
impressed.
better, yeah.
Yeah.
And he actually did make it to the second round, but No, I'm sorry. Sorry, Peter.
So what makes it a moose bouche?
So that's French for mouth fun, basically.
Oh wow! So
it's supposed to be
this moose bouche
supposed to be
category.
something to nibble on while you're waiting for dinner,
Like finger foods.
basically. Yeah.
Okay, so are they all sandwiches primarily, or was it like wraps?
No. They had
sandwiches.
they had some wraps. They had some like little. They were actually a little too big, I think was their problem. They had some
Shish kebabs.
little chicken bites that were. So they took the chicken, skinned the chicken thighs, skinned them, took the skins, fried them separate from the chicken,
Yep.
and pickled them on the spot. Pickled them, put them back on the chicken.
Wow.
And,
Pickled the fried skin?
along with wrapping it up with some other stuff. So yeah, it was. That was just a couple of the things they had. They had one
That sounds pretty good. I would like to try that moose bouche.
Yeah. They were all good. All
So
of
just
them.
mouth fun is
Yeah.
a moose bouche.
Yeah.
So moose bouche could be some gumbo.
Right. Yeah, it could be. There was a gumbo for the final challenge. So one of the things they did was a gumbo based appetizer,
Nice.
and it was also good.
I would love that.
I will
rice,
say-
was there rice involved in that gumbo based appetizer?
No, they used a different. So that it's
Quinoa
gonna get complicated real quick. But
Yeah.
they had a purple mashed potato.
Yeah.
So they mashed potato made with pea flour, which turns it purple and adds a little bit slightly different flavor to it. Lots of butter, lots of good salt and spices and herbs.
Your attention to detail and memory of each of these names.
I'm not
these
even.
dishes is like
I'm not
tripping
even
me out
coming
right
close to. That's a fraction
Like, straight up.
of the whole.
Oh yeah.
Of the whole thing.
now. This is how I know like baseball stats and stuff.
Right. Hey, food, man. That's my weakness.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
No, that's what's up.
But yeah, it was really neat. It was really cool to see, and I will say, once again to the King of Flavor, James, your gumbo needs some filet. You got to put filet in a gumbo.
Or some slap your mama, dog. Like slap your mama.
Right. It can't be gumbo without some filet.
What's filet? What's the filet?
Filet is dried and ground sassafras leaves.
Sassafras. I didn't know that was a real thing. I just
It
thought
is.
that was a made up word.
It is. I got some I've been cultivating over Mississippi for.
Straight up.
Yeah, it was just growing there naturally, but I've been like
Feeding it.
We're not cutting that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're gonna keep that.
Sassafras.
We're
How much
not-
sassafras is it out there?
It used to be a lot, but
You've been cutting it down. And
like
eating some
in the
of
old days, you get that's where root beer comes from.
it? Yeah.
And
Sassafras.
literally
That's
comes
crazy.
from the root.
Okay.
You dig one up when the saps, it's
Yeah.
like in the wintertime. You dig it up and cut that root open, and it smells like root beer. It smells like Barks root beer.
Sassafras does?
Yeah. So
Can you bring some sassafras back when you come back from Mississippi?
yeah, it's not the season for it. Yeah,
Well, I mean, when it is the season.
yeah, probably can.
Yeah, I'd like that.
You gotta have a good stock of it though, because the root's the good part.
Yeah.
And when you dig that root up, you kill the tree, which is what happened. That's why there's not
So
more
it can no
sassafras.
longer produce sassafras.
Right.
Gotcha. Right on. Right on.
When the sarsaparilla and root beer craze kicked off back in whatever time that was.
In the 20s, I think that's
Hey,
right.
y'all thought Jonas was just tech. Jonas is culinary too.
I know.
Like all the way. You know what I'm saying?
I know a little
Bring
bit
it
of,
on.
little bit about everything and not a lot about nothing.
Yeah. 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 I mean, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. And I don't know. But isn't it like 4 of them?
Yeah.
But
I don't know. But I don't know. You got the known knowns and the unknown knowns.
And the known unknowns.
So now we
No,
know
no,
all
no,
about
no.
sassafras.
Now you know all about sassafras.
And
You're
the
welcome.
unknowns. Right on.
Noonish fans.
Well, yeah, y'all
Next
know
time
what
you
it
drink a
is.
root beer, you'll know what the origin of the flavor is.
Ask for some sassafras on the rocks. Had to get it done,
Yeah, well, that was.
Now you better take yours straight up.
Yeah. I think I will. Neat. Y'all know what time it is. Let's jump into this roulette. Crack, crack, crack. Got some fun subjects to talk about today. Out the gates, man.
Hello.
Carmelo Anthony retires from the NBA. How you feel about that, huh? I mean, what's your initial thought?
My initial thought is Carmelo just retired from the NBA, but the NBA retired from Carmelo last year.
NBA retired from
Carmelo.
NBA retired from Carmelo a couple times, man.
Now Carmelo,
It came back.
he gonna be his legacy, as they say now.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like a lot of players. He's never gonna get the credit he deserves because he didn't win a ring.
Yep. But Carmelo was a
beast.
scorer.
Carmelo was an awesome scorer, and he was way stronger in the paint than people gave him credit for. So Carmelo's a Hall of Famer.
Is he first ballot Hall of Famer?
Sure.
I believe so.
Sure. I mean,
I believe he is.
if you're only gonna get first ballot Hall of Famers gonna be people that won a ring, you better go snatch a bunch of them out.
Yeah. Yeah, because Carmelo was a dog, and his legacy started in college, with Syracuse as a freshman, winning that championship, then going to Denver, playing with AI, that's fun to watch, then going to New York and just being the man in a big city, and he did a good job at it,
Because actually, when Carmelo and LeBron came out, it was like, which one you gonna take first?
Yep.
Right.
It wasn't like a clear-cut choice.
Absolutely.
So they was like, okay.
And both teams won from it.
Yeah. Both teams won from it.
Now the Nuggets are just now reaping that benefits from that whole Carmelo Anthony signing, with them going to the finals for the first time ever this year. And I don't really, I hope y'all don't take me seriously when I say that. But nah, he was really good for the Nuggets, man. Putting it back on the map, and balled out, and just one of the most prolific scorers of all time. He was unstoppable at times, Now, everybody only negative against Carmelo was his defense and effort, I guess, on defense. But if you need a bucket, I'd take Carmelo in a lot of situations I'd take over the King. You know what I mean? When you need a bucket.
Over what King?
Over King James.
Oh.
I'll take Carmelo, especially that clutch moment you need at the end of a game. I'm gonna take Melo in that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I done seen him miss some, but I done seen him make a whole lot more.
You better check your clutch stats in the last second of the game.
Why you say that?
Because who got the most clutch shots? Closing in the last 5 seconds.
Like
The last 5 seconds to win the game.
Who?
Kobe Bryant.
Yep. Oh, I love Kobe.
Your king is number 2. Your king is number 2.
Is that due to attempts?
See, there we go with this here, fam.
Is that due to?
Do we have how many times? Hey, here we go with this.
I'm just saying.
We have so many stipulations.
He played so long, and people accomplished a lot more in a short amount of time.
Not really.
Who
got 39,000 points? I don't care how long they play.
Well, that's
a big debate. See, this is the whole thing.
But
we got to compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges. And we got to get off of this GOAT thing.
Do I believe Jordan would have had 39,000 points if he would have played for 20 years consecutively? Yes.
Okay. C. Jonas.
Who averages more points a game?
C. Jonas.
See, that was
but he did it for a short period. No, but he did it for a shorter period of time. C. Jonas, I told you 2 weeks ago about those ifs. Now, I'm finna make this very clear to everybody. Follow me close.
Melo retired.
If ands, and buts was candy and nuts, we all would have a merry little Christmas. So, we already started with this if. We already started with an if. And we not going to get drunk because we don't have a feel.
Yeah.
So, here we go with the if, ands, and buts on Michael Jordan. If he would have did this, if he wouldn't have did that. But we can only talk about what he did do.
I just saw the chefs do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like
if
I'd had this half a point.
Yeah.
It's like
if I've been
bottom line.
Hey, if I've been 6'9",
This is.
I've been in the NBA.
Who's got the most points wins.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as simple as that.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, yeah.
And there's some very great players that
yeah.
don't have a ring, like Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah.
And in 15, 20 years, we'll be talking like Carmelo Anthony. People will be thinking that Carmelo Anthony is just some average guy.
Yep.
Just like they think Alex English is just some average guy. Go check Alex English stats out. Go check out Fat Lever for Denver. All these guys play for Denver. Fat Lever was a triple-double machine. Nobody talk about Fat Lever anymore.
Yeah.
Because he don't have a ring.
Yeah.
But I think people will talk. I don't know. I guess I shall see. You know.
Well,
I guess I see over time. But I do think Carmelo Anthony is.
So who are they talking about right now? Who are they talking about right now that don't have a ring?
Or in the 2000 and
No, I'm just saying in general conversation. Who do we bring up in basketball that don't have a ring?
That doesn't have a ring. Did Dr. J got a ring?
Yeah, Dr. J got a ring.
I mean, I can't really think of anybody.
Thank you.
Bring up.
We're not so in 15 years we're not gonna bring up Carmelo because he don't have a ring because we put too much emphasis on the ring.
Yeah, but he's a great player. Like,
Oh, yeah, he's a great player.
And the, like the 2010s, Carmelo was one of the best. Early. I get 2005 and on type deal.
When did him and LeBron come in the league?
I think they came in 2002.
Okay, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, from 2002.
Yeah.
From
This is
that point
LeBron's, Yeah. So Carmelo I think he's the first ballot Hall of Famer, man.
Oh, I do too.
I think he was worthy of discussing and talking about because I don't see too many people talking about this thing. It was quick news, but Carmelo Anthony was a dog. Enjoyed watching you play. Salute Carmelo, or I guess the 3-pointers, or how you do it like that?
Yeah, however he did. Oh, he's doing it now. Yeah.
Salute Melo. Yeah, man. Moving on. Oh, the Nakatani bomb. Did y'all see this knockout?
Oh, that was scary.
Yeah, if y'all have not had a chance to go watch this and see this knockout, his first name, it's like, I don't know, Juno. I think it's Juno Nataki Nakatani. Junto? Is it Junto Nakatani? Junta?
Yeah, probably none of us gonna pronounce it. Right?
Yeah.
Something close to that.
Y'all go back and watch this knockout that he had over this past weekend, man. It was a ferocious knockout.
That was a battle of a fight.
Well, I mean, his opponent Morales, or whatever his name was. It's not Morales. Maroney. Let me give him his respect because the man fought, but I don't know.
He took a licking and kept on ticking right up to the
He
end.
didn't beat Nakatani like Nakatani beat him for 12 rounds in 2 minutes. So, I mean, for 11 rounds in 2 minutes, right? So, basically, like 98% of this fight, he was getting beat down.
Yeah.
And then he got knocked out in the last minute of the 12th round. And it was ferocious. If you don't like boxing, if you can't take that, don't go watch it. But if you like boxing,
and you can take it, go look at it.
Go check that out because that's one of the best knockouts I've seen.
That's a classic boxing knockout.
Yeah. Jessie came in the living room and she was like, "Why are you laughing?" She's like, "That's bad. How can you laugh right now?" I was like, "Man, that was a great knockout."
It's a guy thing. It's hard.
Yeah, man.
Have you seen the thing where they bring in some people that are like supposed to be pacifists and they're showing them MMA knockouts?
No.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious.
So explain what a pacifist is.
So somebody who's like anti-violence.
Okay, gotcha.
And so they bring in several. They have several people, and some of them clearly are like this even happens? Do people actually do this?
Yeah.
And then there's the one guy from the beginning. The guy's like the promoter or whatever. The guy who's reviewing it.
Yeah.
Says, "Yeah, this guy's full of shit." He's not pacifist. You just look at him and tell.
Yeah.
And so after a while, they're going through there, and the guy's starting to crack up on some of them. It's that's bad.
That's funny.
Like
he was enjoying it a little bit.
He's enjoying it.
Yeah, he was enjoying it. That's funny.
It's a guy thing.
People say
You
anything
can't
for a
not.
little attention.
Yep.
A little love. People say anything.
But this knockout, to me, the fight was brutal. The knockout was clinically perfect. I mean,
it felt like torture, and then he just dropped the bomb on him at the end of the
I mean, if anything, the knockout was finally a clean finish. Because Moroni just was getting beat up.
like the round before, when the 11th round ended,
I didn't hear that part.
in the corner, the coach was telling him, "I want to throw in the towel right now.
Yeah.
I want to stop the fight."
I put it this way. We'll talk about this other one here in a little bit, but if this had gone to a judge's decision, it wouldn't have been no question.
No. It wouldn't have been a question who won that fight
Wouldn't have been a question.
at all. But
And Moroni's like, we're saying that like he's some chump, but he had two divisions.
yeah, he was a champ.
Yeah.
He wasn't a chump, he was a champ.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
He got worked over pretty good. And
that was bad. And he fought his heart out, like literally. But when he knocked out, it was one of the brutal knockouts where his legs were shaking and he was breathing hard. I was like, woof. And I was laughing. Because the punch, it snuck him. He got snuck. He didn't see it. That's the thing about boxing that amazes me.
Right.
A man is right in front of you and you can't see what he's doing with his hands. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like one punch, you can't see. I'm saying you can't see, but one punch you didn't see.
Literally,
it's always
Yeah.
one you
and it's
didn't
quicker
see.
than the eye.
Yeah, and we will talk about that later too.
But I think if you watch that
It's crazy.
punch, Moroni had been getting beat up for 12 rounds, and he thought he saw an opening and did the thing that everybody who's tired does. And when he went to swing, he dropped his guard.
Yeah, drop that hand.
And his opponent was quicker than him.
His opponent was quicker than him, and we were talking about this before the show. I'm not even sure that was intended to be the knockout punch. I think it was just a punch. It was a perfect execution.
Yeah, but I mean that punch is a knockout punch. Nakatani, man.
Nakatani. I don't speak Japanese.
Nakatani bomb, man.
It was a bomb. I mean, it was a solid hit. I mean, it's exactly that's what you train to do.
He had a brother that fought as well. I think Lomachenko may have knocked his brother out.
Oh, really?
I believe so. They might not be related, but I think they might be.
We'll be talking about Lomachenko some more.
Yep, a little bit later. I mean, it might be next.
It might be now.
So, but we're going to move on. But go check that knockout if you get a chance.
Make sure you turn the sound on.
Boom.
Smack. Speaking of smack.
Speaking of smack, turn the sound on. Adonis, I'm going to call him Big Stick Garcia.
Big Stick.
For the Texas Rangers, first place Texas Rangers, is leading the American League in the home runs and RBI right now. The man is doing work, bro. And I'm just saying, like, I don't know if y'all know how hard it is to lead two categories like that. First of all, let me shout out to the Rangers for having people on base, because you can't have a ribby unless you're hitting bombs, which he's also doing.
Exactly.
Which he's also doing. But you can't have multiple ribbies without having people on base. And that's back to that team thing and that whole GOAT conversation.
There we go.
Even though Barry Bonds is the GOAT, even without winning the World Series, hitter. He's the GOAT hitter. He's the GOAT hitter, And I'm fine. I'm fine with all. Hand-eye coordination.
Oh, yeah.
Was the best I've ever seen. But that's another topic. But the Devils Garcia is going in right now. Texas Rangers are going hard. And we have our number one pitcher right now in rehab. The guy, he came from the Mets. Number one pitcher in the league. And looking forward to getting him back. So, but the Rangers are still balling. The Astros are coming in hot. The boys
closing in a little bit.
Yeah. They're like one game back.
The Rangers up by one game. I mean, that's all you need.
Yeah, that's it. And then, when you play head-to-head, and if the Rangers continue to win those series against the Astros, that's where you make that gap.
Oh, yeah, that's where you make that gap.
That's where you make that gap,
Exactly.
But you still got to beat everybody else. But, no, man, y'all got to get out and go watch your Rangers. Like I said, go check out the Texas Rangers. They got a great squad this year. Hey, telling y'all here, man, we got a winner in Dallas. The Stars last night getting booed. They're in the Western Conference Finals, man, getting trash thrown at them. We don't talk too much hockey, but, I mean, we love winners here in the Metroplex. So get out and watch the Texas Rangers because we got a squad this year, and we're going to keep this thing moving. Boom. Oh, there it is. That's what we really wanted to talk about.
Loma.
What were you about to say?
That's it.
Haney and Loma.
Yeah.
Lomachenko.
So I feel after watching this fight that Lomachenko definitely, it was a close fight because Haney was doing work in the early rounds.
It's close.
But in the later rounds, in the championship rounds, Loma was dominating the fight. Haney kept coming, but Loma was landing big punches, power punches that count, And from my point of view, I thought Loma won this fight. I thought he was robbed by them judges. But hey, the judges also gave Floyd Mayweather and Earl Spence the L in the Olympics. So that's how knowledgeable the judges are.
Well, so you had made some good points earlier about like how different people score
the fight. I mean, I'm not gonna say Lomachenko got robbed. Like me and Jonathan was talking the other night at my house. I told him, he might not have got robbed, but he got his pocket picked. It's different.
Hey, I had that happen. It feels like robbery.
I mean, the results are the same, but you're not in fear for your life when you get your pocket picked. But when you
I'd caught up with somebody,
but when somebody pull a gun on you and say, "Give me your money," that's a whole lot different than you saying, "Oh, my money is gone."
They took it from me. I had it.
Yeah, I had it, but now it's gone. So I'm not gonna say Lomachenko got robbed. But it's like this.
That's probably exactly what he felt like. I had it.
I had it, but it's gone.
Yeah.
So Lomachenko, to me, I'm like J.A. For how I like a fight, I would have gave Lomachenko the victory because to me, this is my opinion, he landed the more effective punches.
Absolutely.
And this is not the Golden Gloves where you just hit on the white part and that's a point. If you hit and it has no effect on your opponent, and it don't wear them down
don't move,
in the later rounds, now you can say, okay, well, those 30 left hands didn't hurt. The first one didn't, but the 30th one, 30th one, that didn't happen in the fight.
What was crazy to me was at the beginning of the fight, like we talked about, Lomachenko was obviously the smaller man. Measurements, weight, height, he is the smaller man.
Sure.
But as the fight went on, Devin Haney
looked like they looked more the same size at the end of the fight.
Yeah, or smaller. Lomachenko like the bigger man towards the end of the fight.
Yep.
Devin Haney was it's like he was in there surviving versus fighting in like
first, 3
in like 10 through 12.
5 rounds that Haney was, had that reach and was making good use of it.
Yeah. Well, he was getting into the body with Lomachenko.
Yeah.
But it wasn't having no effect.
No effect.
Usually when you go to the body, slow your opponent down or cause him to drop his hands.
Yep.
It didn't do either.
Oh,
so that's what I'm talking about. It wasn't effective. I mean, cause he didn't bring his hands down and he didn't slow down. Mm-hmm. So your body blows were pretty much unaffected.
Yep. And Lomachenko said it after the weigh-in when Haney pushed him in the when they go face to face after that weigh-in and whatnot, and Haney pushed him. And they was like, what was that about? And his only response was, he has no power. Said he has no power.
Yeah.
Well, if he was kickboxing, they love that.
Man, bro. So
when you just stand there and take it.
Yeah. Yeah, like Loma, he got pushed back.
But that's not the sport.
But that's been different than being pushed back. You know what I'm saying?
But
you off your feet.
But when Haney and Lomachenko got into a clinch, Lomachenko looked stronger. He threw Haney on the ground. He threw him across the ring. So when they grabbed each other, Lomachenko actually looked stronger to me.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. And and that straight left that he kept throwing, the picture on the wall right now.
Yep.
That straight left. They call that a blind punch.
People forget, before Lomachenko went to fight in the war, he was actually in the 130, 135 pound, up in that, between 130 and I say 140. He was the man.
Absolutely.
By far, it wasn't even close.
Absolutely.
So, I had to kind of remember that too. I'm like,
but he showed me something because he's been on the lighter side for the most part. And he's boxing a bigger man right here, so he showed me something. Last time he fought Teofimo Lopez, he couldn't take that, but he didn't see this was a different Loma in this fight.
Oh yeah,
straight up. This was like old Loma but bigger.
And also you have to take in consideration it was about 5 rounds, maybe 6 that it was hard to judge.
Yeah.
Right.
Were very hard to judge. Like I said, it depends on what you like. And this always carries a deciding factor in boxing. Haney was the champion.
Oh,
and if it's a close round, you're going like, you didn't do enough to the champion.
But that 16,
I mean, it shouldn't be like that, but that's the way it is.
That
always
116, 112 was like, who could have judged it that uneven? You know, it was the 115, 113, it was 2 of those.
Well, 116 to 112.
But who can watch
all those
that
5 or 6 rounds that were close, they gave them all to Haney. Right. I'll say it like that's the only way.
To the champ?
They gave him because he was the champion. Well, it's a close round. It's close. Let me give it to the champion.
It's the champ. That's plus 2 points.
Oh,
But I mean, but was it close? Because again, we're not talking Golden Gloves. We're not talking the Olympics where a touch is a point. And like, we ain't looking at that. We're talking about effective blows.
But
and
then when
from
you go
beginning to end, Lil Boosie, the rapper, Lil Boosie said Loma. He said he won that night, but he felt that he robbed somebody. He put money up. He won his bet. But he's like, I feel like I robbed somebody tonight.
Yeah.
He said Boosie said Devin Haney did not win 1 round of this fight.
I don't know about that.
I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't say that. I'm just saying what Boosie said.
But this is what I'm saying.
I don't agree with that totally.
This is what I'm saying. Clear rounds that Haney won couldn't have been over 3.
They were slim.
And clear rounds that Lomachenko won was about to couldn't have been over 3 or 4.
Right. Yeah,
and then you got so many indecisive rounds, and if you're the champion,
they might give it to you.
Yeah,
in the future, what Lomachenko needs to do is what Nakatani did, and just knock him out.
Yeah.
So how can we?
I mean, that's the only way.
How can we solve?
It's the only way to be sure.
Absolutely, but how can we solve this judge problem though? Like,
it's been going on forever.
That's what I'm saying. How
been
can we
going on
solve
forever.
that problem?
You can't. It's been going on forever because I don't know how to solve it.
What?
Yeah, I don't because anything that I've seen proposed and tried in other leagues or other combat sports has problems too.
Yeah.
So I have seen, where
I've seen a couple of UFC fights where they raise the wrong hand.
Right.
I really have. I mean, on the decision, that's why I don't. So sometimes sports where you have to vote on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They bring a bad taste to like a football game. Well, it's bad enough with referees, but like track and field. Okay, you won. You're the first one across the line.
Right.
Nobody can judge that.
Right.
You hit the basket. Nobody. They may call something in between, but a sport that's totally judged by other people.
Yeah.
It always gonna be some.
Yeah, but
some shortcomings.
When there's judgment calls, there's gonna be some
judgment
issues.
call.
And the problem with something like boxing or MMA, UFC type stuff is, what's the finish line?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, realistically, the only finish line that's definitive is a knockout or last one standing.
That's what I'm saying. And they won't go last man standing, even though that would be a lot more entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I forget who it was that was fighting the Tank Abbott way back when.
In the UFC?
But
that's my buddy with the goatee.
Yeah.
The boy used to throw them
haymakers. Throw some bad hands, but he was like he was tough. And it was and they were both, they were just both beat to shit at the end of it.
Yeah.
And finally it wasn't that somebody had a clear knockout or clear win on hits. It was just exhausted.
Yeah.
That's here you got this guy who's got a big old beer belly, but can throw hands, and after so many rounds, he was just too exhausted.
Tank was exhausted. Then he got beat up, didn't he?
He got beat up pretty bad before then because they just went to slugging.
Especially when he couldn't lift his arms up.
When he couldn't lift his arms up, which
I remember that.
I think it was Dan Severn.
I remember that.
And they were both bloody. I mean, because Severn always had that Magnum PI look, good looking guy. And he wasn't no good looking guy after the end of that.
Right, that
It
stash.
was rough. But yeah, that's the problem with that is, where do you draw the line? And I mean, it goes back to, like we've talked about with using performance enhancing substances in other sports is, I mean, if you're a grown man and you want to do it, then who are we to say don't play that way?
Don't do it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, people won't like to have rules, and
I have
there's people who don't like to see blood.
Yeah,
in the ring.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
you get to make it commercial.
Oh, right.
Commercial.
That's where you're gonna make the
That's
money.
where the money comes in. That's true.
So they have to make it commercial and clean enough to where
And it's a fact. It is a verifiable, observable fact that MMA, that style of fight promotion didn't really take off until UFC implemented some rules that cut down on the injuries.
Yeah, the body. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They used to break arms and all kinds of stuff.
Oh, yeah, they had to eliminate that elbow.
Eliminate the elbow.
I mean, that's...
And that stuff was still rare. I mean, it still was unusual, but it was enough that.
Yeah. It's like you can't throw a knee and an elbow with 3 points, or is that? I know a knee, you can't have 3 points like that.
I mean, there's a bunch of things, but the elbow is the classic kind of over the top.
Over there.
You can't throw that one.
No, you can't
throw that one anymore. You can still do knees, but what is it? You can't do, like you were talking about. It's knees on the ground.
Yeah, you can't. You can't have somebody. They got to be on 2 feet basically for you to beat to knee. They can't have 2 feet and a hand.
And there's some locks, some types of locks that you can't do.
Yeah, I'm glad they cleaned it up, much like the NBA.
Yeah, you have to clean it up because of money. Everything is around money.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Because when the MMA was done in rooms like this, everything, then when they got the camera,
that's a pretty nice room.
Cut down to some Hey, it was a whole lot of backyard fighting and all that going on where everything. I'm just saying backyard.
I still watch
it was in low budget arenas and small rooms with no camera.
Yep.
It was everything was legal.
Yeah.
Everything was legal.
Oh man. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad they don't show that no more.
Yeah.
I do like watching a good fight though. Keep it moving. Oh, NBA is next. As if I knew, but I didn't. NBA Conference Finals, man. This is kind of why we've been talking about MJ and LeBron, because MJ wouldn't let that happen. MJ swept? Come on now. This late in his career? It's not happening.
See, okay, here we go.
But Denver, we got to give props to the Denver Nuggets.
Does it count as not letting it happen if you change careers?
Does it count as not letting it happen when you don't make the playoffs? That's not letting it happen. Because at 38 years old with the Washington Wizards, Michael, see there go but. Let's not say but and or if. Because it's not even November yet, so we're not going to go to the Christmas.
Yet. Michael Jordan played with the Wizards. He didn't play with the Lakers.
LeBron played with the Cavaliers. He didn't play with the Wizards.
But if MJ was all that in a bag of chips,
he was.
Like he didn't need a side dressing to go along with it.
Exactly.
But I mean, we're talking about his after his second retirement.
Did I tell you to quit, Jonas? Did I tell you to quit?
We're talking about after his second retirement.
You can't switch. That's after the second time he quit, not the third time he quit.
Look,
the second
when
time
Melo comes back, for his second retirement,
hey, Melo ain't doing that. The NBA retired him twice already. This is his first retirement.
But anyway, back to the conference finals.
So
what's actually happening?
Yeah, now Jokic, right, is just continuing to just show the world how good he is at a different pace. It's just different. The dude is really good. He ends up with all these points, all these rebounds, all these assists, and every game he's averaging a triple-double right now in the playoffs.
Right. He broke a record.
What, for triple-doubles in the playoffs?
For triple-doubles in the playoffs.
That's crazy. Already?
Yeah. He broke the record. Yeah. Guess who had the record?
Who?
Yes.
John Stockton.
No, no.
LeBron James.
No, not
Jason
LeBron.
Kidd?
No.
Magic
Will
Johnson?
Chamberlain.
Will
Chamberlain had
Wow.
7 in one playoff series, not the whole career. In 1 year, Will Chamberlain had 7 triple doubles during the playoffs.
Oh, that's crazy.
And that was way before 3 and 4 rounds. They only had, so now Joker has 8.
I thought you was gonna say LeBron.
No. That's why I keep
crazy.
telling you, these guys are not the GOAT. So,
That's crazy.
yeah, he broke it from Will Chamberlain, from a guy that couldn't play.
But how many rings does Will have though?
2.
You should have more.
No, he shouldn't. No, he shouldn't. No, how should you?
Why?
Huh?
Because it's withstood. The man scored 100 points, averaged 50 points 1 year.
Bill Russell had way better teams. He lost in the finals about 6-7 times
Will
with Bill
did?
Russell. To
Oh
Bill
my
Russell.
gosh, yes, that's stuff I don't know.
Yeah, because see, Bill Russell had Casey Jones, Sam Jones, John Havlicek, Bob Cousy.
I had
Who did Will
Sam
have?
Jones,
I
man.
can't even name. I don't know Will teammates like that.
Who's his best number 2? Is it Sam Jones or Casey Jones? Because you named Casey first.
Sam got the most rings.
Okay.
Sam Jones got 10 rings.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Casey Jones got 9 or 8. So I can't. John Havlicek got 8. So I can't say who's and this is what you can say about John Havlicek. John Havlicek won some rings with Bill Russell. Then when Bill Russell left, John Havlicek won 2 more.
Wow. And what? He was a forward or what?
Yeah, forward. So it's guys. So anyway, let's get back to the conference.
Yeah, man. No, so I mean, Lakers got swept. They had no chance against the Nuggets.
They were too small.
The Nuggets have a great team. So much size, skill, will. Everybody knows their role. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They play very well together. Have you had a chance to watch these guys play together?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, they are fun. I mean,
Not like you and
And the Lakers play terrible together. D'Angelo Russell
that I have seen.
and Dennis Schroeder. Oh my goodness, they made so many bad passes.
Horrible passes, horrible shot selection. Right? It was bad.
Horrible decisions.
It was bad.
And they were too small for Jamal Murray. He's 6'7", they 6'3".
So I didn't realize that until after you said it. And then I started watching. I was like, wow.
They too small.
Schroeder looks tiny
Compared to,
trying to cover
and
Jamal
I'm going
Murray.
to tell you this, Joker made Anthony Davis look small.
Yep. Joker made Tristan Thompson look small.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was possible. I
Well,
thought
Joker is a legitimate 7'1".
I thought Tristan Thompson was 7 foot.
No, Tristan Thompson
6'9".
really is 6'9" and a half, 6'10". Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
He's about the same size as LeBron. And that
Yeah.
just makes me not respect him as much. After I realized that, 'cause I really thought he was 7 foot. But anyways, moving on, the Celtics finally got a win.
Yeah.
In
They'll
the
ate
West
the
Conference
inevitable.
Finals yesterday.
That's all they did. They ate the inevitable. They'll get them next time. They go to Miami.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So Jimmy buckets. We'll see what happens. I think he's gonna take it in the next game, and I'm excited to see what he does against Denver in the finals. Right? I'm like, it's hard to count Boston out because they got a really good team, but Miami, with what's going on down there right now in this matchup, I don't see Boston winning 3 more games. It's never happened in history, and I don't see it happening right now.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see how Jimmy's gonna perform against Joker. Like straight up.
Well,
How do you see that matchup going? We're not there yet, but how do you see that?
well,
matchup?
Jimmy's going to be more matched up with,
I don't know. He won't be matched up.
I mean, yeah, well,
I'm saying just teams. How do you see the
they
teams?
won't sweep Miami.
Yeah.
They won't do that. Because first off, Miami got Bam. Bam is big enough to get some, to at least face up against Joker and play some good, solid defense.
Yeah.
And then when you start saying the second best, I don't think that Jamal Murray is going to go bucket for bucket with
Jimmy?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, he can't.
I don't.
And
I don't
Jimmy
think
can get a
he'll-
bucket when he wants to.
Yeah, I don't. So talent wise, I'm gonna say Denver.
Yeah.
Heart-wise, I'm gonna say Miami. So it's a split decision.
You can't go down the middle.
No.
You can't go down the middle. Who gonna win?
The judges.
Who gonna win?
The judges have spoken. It's a split
You
decision.
can't call a draw the NBA Finals.
Hey, I'm gonna say. Well, I'm gonna say Miami.
Miami gonna take it?
Yeah, I'm gonna, because I like toughness and heart and spirit and wanting to. I mean, not saying that Denver don't have that.
Yeah.
But I just don't see that. Well, Denver's been good for 4 or 5 years.
Denver's really,
now.
really good.
They've been good for 4 or 5 years.
Remember, the Lakers beat Miami in the bubble.
They beat Denver too in the bubble. In the
I'm
Western
talking
Conference.
about. Oh yeah,
Yeah, the Western Conference. They beat
Denver and then they beat Miami
yeah.
in the championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they beat Denver too. So, but that was 2 years ago.
Yeah. 3
And
years.
LeBron is 3 years. LeBron a little 3 years older.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So-
But I'm saying like that Denver and Miami matchup is gonna be a really good one. Then they got beef.
Yeah. So
You remember when Joker pushed Markieff Morris in the back?
Yeah.
He was laying on the ground for
Yeah, that was
an extended period of time.
that was a soft move for Joker. That
Yeah,
a
it
soft
was.
move.
That was.
Because this is the whole thing.
But they got beef, though.
Yeah, Marquise bumped you in the face. You bumped him in the back.
In the back, he wasn't even looking at you.
Yeah. So that's a soft move. So they all got beef.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yep. So there is a little something, a little chippiness in between these two teams right here. You know, Aaron
But
Gordon was a part of that.
Denver has the most
Other players
talent.
weren't, but-
I'm gonna say that Denver has the
Absolutely,
most
and they're
talent.
long.
And most of the time, the team with the better team usually wins.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. But I mean, it's hard. Miami is like, who are these guys? And they're all playing well together.
First off,
Yeah,
nobody thought
Spoelstra.
Miami would even be here.
It wasn't even in the conversation.
Yeah,
It was Philly and it was Boston.
Didn't they finish 8th in the East?
And
Or
they were
7th
tripping
or
about the
8th?
Knicks. Yeah, they finished 8th.
Yeah.
Yeah, they finished 8th. So it's
Time for a comeback.
it'll be fun to see what happens, man. So they're going to get past Boston real quick in this next game. Maybe the game after that, but get rid of Boston because I want to see this next series. I need a little chippiness in my gameplay, in my players. All this friend stuff is no bueno. So Arlington, the city of Arlington, Texas, not only has the Dallas Cowboys, but they have your XFL champion Arlington Renegades.
Now you caught me off guard on that.
Yeah, man.
You know,
Yeah, man.
and
They were 4-6.
I gotta tell the truth. When I was a sports fan,
Yeah.
I didn't know the Renegades was in Arlington.
Yeah.
I didn't even know
They
that.
played right out there in Choctaw.
I watched the game.
Yeah.
When they won.
Yeah.
And I did not realize. I mean, I'm saying, because I didn't have anything else to do. I said, wait,
Yeah.
man, I'm ready to see what they're
Let me
doing.
check this out. You thought it was Arlington, Virginia?
It didn't even dawn on me. I mean, I really didn't care.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, let me watch it because I love football.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get enough football. So I was like,
Yeah.
nothing's else on, so let me check this out. And I
Yeah.
watched the game.
Yeah.
And I, right here on the podcast, I'm at to tell people, I didn't know they was in Arlington, Texas.
Yeah.
So,
And right here, they play where the Rangers used to play, right across the street. Yeah.
now that you said it,
Yeah.
it's all coming back to
Yeah. Them Arlington Renegades.
Back to me now.
Yeah, Bob Stoops was the head coach. You know?
What they
4-6.
4-6,
And
and
one.
the other team 9-1.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So what happened? So they had a quarterback coming. I can't think of his name right now, but the kid balled out.
Oh, he did.
They were calling him the Pat Mahomes of the XFL. The kid
Yeah,
was
he
balling
did.
out.
He
So-
balled out in that particular game right there.
Yep.
He did.
Yep. Yeah, he balled out. So shout out to the Arlington Renegades. Shout out to The Rock for putting on a successful season at the XFL. You know, last time they did, they had to cut the season short. I think it was during the COVID year. But congratulations, man, to everybody involved in this. It was a win. Looking forward to seeing what happens next year. Gotta love seeing kids get a chance to play the game they love, and get paid for it. So.
And they will be successful as long as they don't try to go up against the NFL.
Oh no, they're not. They've already had a conversation with the NFL to be a filter, like a minor league system for them.
Yeah.
So
that's a good move.
yeah, absolutely.
That's a very good move.
That can work. That can work. So great job right there. The Rock said, "Can you smell?" Y'all know the rest of it.
Jabroni. Uh-oh.
Man. So I don't have too many stories about Jim Brown because he wasn't in my era, but I saw his highlights, and all I can see over and over again is him running down the field with his jersey being like literally ripped off and shoulder pads flopping, and he's
flopping.
motoring like a locomotive down the field, not being stopped. You know what I'm saying?
And when you
pads
see
flopping,
Jim
but no
Brown,
stopping.
when you see the old films of Jim Brown,
Yeah.
it looked like he's running like they have the film speeded up. It looked like he's running. Have you ever noticed that?
I've seen
It
that.
looked like it's in fast motion, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until you look at the other guys.
Right.
And they
They don't look like they're in
they're not
fast
moving
motion.
like that.
The only one look like they're in fast motion is Jim Brown.
Yeah. That's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah. See,
And the power.
yeah, Jim
Jinx.
Brown. A lot of people don't know all this stuff about Jim Brown.
Yeah.
See,
He's another should have been the GOAT. If we're gonna
I
play
mean,
the GOAT game.
is he in a GOAT conversation?
yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
no doubt.
If you're gonna talk goats, because he went to Cleveland and instantly turned them to a championship team.
Yep.
And not only that, you know, all younger athletes, they younger athletes, they think no, for real, they don't have enough respect because I have heard, oh, it's a different quality of athlete now. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's just better training now because Jim Brown was a super athlete.
Yeah.
This is what a lot of people don't know about Jim Brown. When he was at the University of Syracuse, he was an All-American lacrosse player.
Yep.
And it's a
Yeah.
sportscaster named Dick Schaap.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
He's dead now. He covered lacrosse for over 40 years. He said, look, Jim Brown is the greatest lacrosse player he ever seen in his life.
Wow. That's crazy.
And see, back then it wasn't that two sport stuff. They didn't have private planes. They could fly here and there. And at that point, they didn't have pro lacrosse like they do now.
Yeah.
Right.
So Jim Brown could have been a pro lacrosse player.
Yep.
And here come another nugget.
I didn't even know they had lacrosse back then.
Yeah, they had lacrosse at the University of Syracuse.
I didn't know how. Lacrosse is new to me still.
Well,
I'm
listen,
about 10 years.
That's some more northeastern sport. All the people that did that, and here's
Like
another
field hockey.
nugget about the super athlete Jim Brown that people don't know. He played basketball at Syracuse. One year he averaged 12 points.
I didn't know that.
He averaged 12 points, All-American lacrosse player, the #1 football player in the world, and you don't think he's a super athlete.
Yeah.
Like Bo Jackson.
That's special.
Stop it.
That's special.
You know, so,
That's
so
very
we've been at super athletes all the time. And if Jim Brown, I heard an athlete say the other day, he says, oh, all these old guys talk about science, I don't want to hear that. So you think you just woke up better? You just think you just woke up better than Jim Brown? No, you didn't.
Yeah.
First off, I want you to go, if Jim Brown was alive, I want you to ask him, Jim Brown, how many 7-on-7 camps did you go to?
Zero.
Zero.
Yeah. Now, I will say that.
You know,
That's my gripe.
How many All-Star games did you play in? Zero. All that wasn't around then.
Yeah.
So athletes got to quit thinking that they just woke up better.
Yeah.
No, you got better. It's all about money.
Repetition, training.
Repetition and training. And he didn't get that
going out
repetition.
playing in practice.
And he was just going out playing on natural ability.
Training camp diet was
Yeah.
burgers and beer, and just get out there and do it.
And our training camp preparing was do push-ups for 2 weeks,
Yep.
run some hills, do some pull-ups, go to training camp.
Yeah.
He didn't have a gym in his house.
Yeah.
He didn't have a facility that he could go to any day of the week, anytime, and work out for 2 or 3 hours. They didn't have all that
Yeah,
then.
it's a little very different back then.
Very different.
I guarantee you Jim Brown ran some hills.
Yeah,
Man.
the athletes were supreme. The training wasn't supreme.
Yeah.
So if he would have got supreme training,
Different conversation.
different conversation.
That's a lot of the we look back at people and say, well, I mean, we killed that record a long time ago.
Yeah.
That early marathon, Ben something or other, one of the early marathon guys.
The first guy to run under 4 minutes or whatever.
No, not was it? No, I don't think so.
Okay.
But it may have been. But they talk about him running and his, he was running in just plain old sneaks. Like what?
Yeah. He didn't
now
have a
you
Nike
go to
Air.
Walmart.
He didn't have a Nike Air.
Yeah.
That
And
extra
and look, his
flex.
His nutrition was wine or beer and
Yeah.
sandwiches.
Yeah.
Like he didn't have any fancy gels, and it's the same. It's the same thing. Like we got people. We got the helmets are different. The pads are
Oh
different.
yeah. Oh yeah.
The lighter
Yeah.
materials are lighter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
trainers
Shoes
are
are better.
better. I guarantee you, Jim
training,
Brown didn't
yeah.
have a nutritionist. He didn't have a personal chef.
Imagine
he didn't
taking
spend
some
$1
of those
million
people-
a year on his body.
Yeah.
He probably didn't make $1 million his whole playing career.
Yeah.
You put some of those
Yeah.
put some of those guys in the situation that some of
That
these
they same
young guys
guys
are now.
equal playing field. They will be just as good as these
Just
guys.
as good or better.
Or maybe.
No doubt about that. No doubt
So
about that.
I'll say this: take a Jim Brown with the background, the early background that he had, and move him up to today. So he's got the same mentality that he came into the sports with, but give him today's training and support. And man, he really would be unstoppable.
So what sticks out most about Jim Brown? Was it his athleticism? Was it his activism? Or was it his actorism?
Well,
His acting.
well, one thing led to the other.
Yeah.
His athleticism
Yeah,
led to
open
his
doors.
led to his acting,
Yeah.
and then by him being with the mindset that he had and being well known, now you can go stand on
And
the
say
side of
something.
Martin Luther King,
Yeah.
and people will say, "Oh, well, that's Jim Brown." And that's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
So that allowed for that platform. And
Yeah, and then I want to bring up another subject about these young athletes. Man, don't think you under pressure because somebody said something about you on Twitter or Facebook.
Yeah.
That's the pressure they're under.
Yeah, that's you don't even gotta be on there. You choose
Jim
to be
Brown
on there.
was under a whole different kind of pressure.
Yeah.
Because it's some clips that they can't even show of Jim Brown because what the people are saying, and you can hear them in the saying certain words that's not favorable, so they don't even show those clips anymore.
Yeah.
So that's what you call pressure.
Well, they don't
because
wanna
Stephen
admit-
A. Smith said you can't
Yeah.
shoot. That's not no pressure.
Yeah. Yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
I mean, so they were under a whole different scrutiny and pressure than these young guys.
Oh,
man.
absolutely. Man, times were very different back then.
Yeah, way different.
Very different.
Yeah.
But
well, and Stan, and that's what I think. To me, it feels like that personality was there from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
like Jim Brown didn't change, but
He
his
was who he
platform
was.
changed as he grew older, grew as an athlete, and grew as an actor, and so on.
Yeah.
And you saw more and more of the real Jim Brown.
Oh, yeah.
He earned his position.
He earned absolutely. He earned his
Absolutely.
position and was in a different time, and stuff was said for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff was said, uppity. May have been thrown around with followed by some other words.
Oh, yeah.
Salutes to the life of Jim Brown,
Yeah.
man. He was a very impactful American man. So
Yeah.
In more ways than one.
Absolutely.
Impactful in more ways than one.
absolutely. So man,
That's an American dream story for sure.
rest in heaven, man. So with that being said, we'll be right back. are back in action. Man, so after the last game, Lakers got swept. I love LeBron James again. Like, the man is on my wall at my house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a LeBron fan, but MJ is just the man, and he's better. And, you know what I'm saying? In my opinion.
I'm glad you cleared that up. That's just opinion. There's no fact. There's no facts to that.
Yeah. So, after the game, he said some things that make people think that he is considering retirement at this point. So, where he is in his career, his last performance, his most recent performance in the playoffs, this past season, he did score 40 points in his last game.
Yeah.
But impact, that's like 40. He scored 40 Golden Glove points. He didn't get that knockout blow. Right?
Exactly.
So, do you feel that it's time for him to hang it up?
Ability-wise or no?
LeBron James wise.
LeBron James wise.
Ability to execute and make it happen.
I would say no.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I just be talking because I'm not a LeBron James fan over Michael Jordan or any of that. Yeah. I am pro there's no GOAT. That's my real stance. There's no GOAT. That's my real stance. So far as picking one or the other, but this being realistic without LeBron has had more scrutiny and everything than even Michael Jordan ever had.
Yeah.
So when you look at a player that was in the Western Conference Finals, he averaged 25 in the conference or 25, 26? I know that he scored 20 in every game.
Yeah.
He scored 20 in every game.
Scored 4 in his last game.
He got double digits rebounds in 2 of the games. In the other 2, he got 9 and 8. Then he got double digit assists in 1 game. And then he got 8 and 9 in the other games.
Yeah.
That don't sound like a guy that should retire. That's in the Western Conference Final, averaged 25, 9 and 8. That don't sound like a guy that needs to retire.
He was quoted saying that he's still better than 90 to 95% in the NBA. Is that true?
I totally agree.
So is that because he has the ball for as much as he does? If he was on a team without the ball,
he had the ball a lot less this year than he did ever. Because even Draymond Green there was saying it's weird to see him not have the ball.
Yeah.
He had the ball in his hands a lot less.
He wasn't shooting.
And look how the team played, so maybe he needed the ball more.
Yeah.
I mean, but this
is
is all I'm saying. This is what I believe right now. I'm not talking about for the next 8 years or the next. I'm talking about right now. If I took LeBron James and put him on Boston Celtics and took Jason Tatum and put him on the Los Angeles Lakers, which team would be better?
I think Jason Tatum is really good.
You didn't answer the question. I think he's really good too.
LeBron James.
I think Boston would be better.
I mean, yeah, whatever team
I'm saying,
the Boston will be a better team, yeah.
So it's only.
I can't see LeBron ever doing that though.
I mean, I'm just saying, it all depends on what level you want to hold yourself to. Now, if you just want to hold yourself to the LeBron James standard, you probably need to retire. But if you want to hold yourself to a top 10 player standard, maybe even a top 5 player standard, you can keep playing.
So we're not even talking about 6 man coming off the bench.
No, I say
we're talking top 5 player in the
top
league.
5 player in the league. Because right now, if you took LeBron James and probably put him on Philadelphia and put Joel Embiid on the Lakers, the Philadelphia would probably be better than the Lakers.
But
I mean, so I'm just saying,
but
when you compare him, as an athlete with the utmost pride and the utmost ability,
that's hard to take.
It may be time for you to retire.
Yeah,
it's hard because you don't want to stay around like MJ and then do nothing. For the last couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, that's hard to take. That's hard to take. When you used to being the best, and then suddenly you just not average. You're still above average, but you're no longer in that conversation.
Well, this is the way This is LeBron James' whole problem. He don't have the ability to drag Dennis Schroeder and D'Angelo Russell to the championship like he did, like he drug Mario Chalmers and all them to the championship. He don't have that ability anymore. Because if he had the same ability he had 6 years ago, he could drag D'Angelo Russell and Dennis Schroeder and those guys to the championship.
Mo Williams was good.
Yeah, Mo Williams. Now, I was, when you look at the team that LeBron played on,
they're not just the most.
Yeah, him and Allen Iverson is probably the most times
with the fewest.
Yeah, with the less. They get the most with the less.
Yep.
Because everybody played. Even when they got Iman Shepard and J.R. Smith, they were known as knuckleheads. He drove them to the championship.
Yep. And won.
So, I can say at the LeBron James level that he's played at for 20 years, he's not going to ever do that again.
Yeah.
But if he get, I would say if he get a couple of different players, the Lakers still got a chance. If you can get somebody better than D'Angelo and Dennis Schroeder and move AD to power forward instead of center, you need a couple of pieces, but he's not the type of that way, you can't win with him no more. He was in the Western Conference Finals.
What's the saying they said about LeBron? One night he was as good as he once was, but not as good as he...
He's not as good as he once was, but he's as good once as he ever was.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. Yeah, one of them nights. We won't see those nights in bunches like we used to.
No, that's the whole thing about being older. Being an older athlete,
well, he can't.
You can dial it up every now and then. You can't dial it up every day.
Yes, I mean we're talking 6'9", 280 pounds, 50 to 60 pounds, whatever it is.
Yeah,
with athleticism out of this world. And now that his athleticism has diminished a little bit, he's still a freak athlete, but not, just
not doing what he used to
like
be.
He was. Like when he jumped over, he ended a man's career by jumping over him on an alley-oop dunk. Like completely just jumped over this man. What's the point guard? I ain't talking Jason Terry. I'm talking about the point guard. His dad was the coach of the band.
Lucas.
Yeah, John Lucas Jr.
Yeah, his dad was working for the Rockets.
Oh my gosh. LeBron literally jumped over this man, and I never heard from him again.
So the question you have to ask yourself there is do I have anything else to offer? If your physicality, if your personal ability to play the game is all you have to offer, then maybe it is time to quit.
I mean,
if you are one, physically able to still play at a top 5 level, and 2, mentally, emotionally able to accept that I'm not going to be number 1, but I can be number 5, and if I surround myself with the right people, we still win championships.
Man,
to me, if you're on a team sport and your goal is not to win championships, your goal is I'm going to be the GOAT, for example.
Yeah.
Like you should always try to be the best player you can be, but if you're playing a team sport, that means to some extent supporting the team.
Yeah. I feel like LeBron James
it's easy to count stats.
He's slightly above average because of his size, for one.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the explosiveness that he has. Like he's above average
for his basketball mentality.
But his IQ is
that's what I'm saying. His IQ
puts his IQ back up way up there.
Physically, he's not one of the 10 best players in the league.
No. And his shooting.
I would love to see somebody
with
the status of a LeBron James say, you know what, I may not be the fastest on the court anymore. I may not be able to hit every shot I used to be able to hit. But I know a lot about how to play the game.
Yeah.
And I know a lot about how to bring out the strengths of other players on my team. So I'm going to continue to put everything I have into this, which may not be, physically, but it may not mean that I'm the fastest one down the court or the first one to make, every shot. But I'm going to use what I know, my experience and my knowledge of the game, to keep this team moving towards championships longer than what it would have if I just retired and left him with whatever.
For sure.
Yeah. And I think
I would love to see that. I guarantee the knowledge is there.
But I think he have to get the players that want to. Players like this is just my opinion. Players like Dennis Schroeder and D'Angelo Russell, they're not absorbing the knowledge that LeBron is trying to pour into them. They're not. I mean, whether they're hard-headed or what, the message is not getting over.
Well, so one of the reasons why I don't watch as much basketball now is one reason is I'm just not as into it. But, I don't know if I'm into anything as much as Unc is into sports, which is awesome. But it has, to some extent, has gone away from being a team sport and been more about how many points can me.
Individualized.
And you got players.
The league is run by individuals.
And you got players that they say they want to win a championship, but their actions don't line up.
Right.
You know, because my mother used to have a saying. She used to tell me, because my mother, your mother always, because she called me Ronnie. Right. She said, hey, when I did a lot of things in my life. Yeah. She said, Ronnie, did you do such and such? No, ma'am, no, ma'am, no, ma'am. And she would tell me, Ronnie, I can't hear what you're saying for watching what you're doing.
Yeah.
So a lot of these players, say they want to win a championship, but but for me watching you, there's nothing you are doing that say you want to win a championship. Kyrie Irving, there's nothing you're doing. And KD,
I'm not gonna call any names because they all beat me.
I mean, they can beat me, but I'm not a professional athlete. Beat the guy. Beat LeBron James.
Right.
Beat Joker. You can beat me.
There's a lot of players out there who are not LeBron James or Joker or who are still playing with that mentality.
Yeah.
It's all about me and how many points I can score. And look, Hoss, you ain't scoring that many points.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna carry a team to a championship in the first place.
Yeah.
So you might want to get on board with
you might want to try to adjust your game to fit in with somebody else rather than just it's all about me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And look, I'll tell you, I love to see a team work as a unit and just flawless execution. Like that's really good.
Yeah, I feel that due to the recent happenings of John Morant, we can't have LeBron leave just yet.
He might have to stick around 2-3 more years if you're gonna try to repair that.
We gotta have faith in the league a little more stable. Straight up.
I'm not ready to see him go.
Me either. I want to play at least a couple more years.
Because when LeBron leaves, who is now the NBA's face? Who becomes the face of the league?
I mean, they have tried to replace LeBron 2 or 3 times doing his career. One time they said KD, one time they say Steph.
I think
these guys are on LeBron.
I think it'll be a young man right here in Dallas.
Luka? Luka got some growing pains to go through.
Well, everybody.
All
this Luka's what? He's almost the same age as John Morant.
Yeah. Well, they both. Well, John Morant got some growing up to do off the court. And on the court too. Luka got some growing up to do. Most of his is on the court.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about Luka off the court. I haven't heard nothing negative. I don't hear about Luka. So that means he's not doing anything. Because he was doing something we'd hear about.
Oh, he doing something.
I mean, every athlete is probably doing a little,
Be smart about it.
Doing a little drinking, hanging with women and all that. That's normal. But pulling guns and drugs and all that, stay away from all that stuff.
Yeah.
And don't do like Dirk. Don't take one of the women from the list that they tell you not to take.
Is that what that?
The one that do you remember the one that Dirk that got arrested at Dirk house?
Yeah.
She was on the NBA list.
She was on the do not call list.
Do not fool with these people.
Yeah.
And Dirk fooled with her.
Wow.
And guess what? She ended up going to jail. And they had to go to Dirk house to arrest her.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, she was on that do not.
Was that Crystal Thomas or something like that?
Oh, I can't remember her
I think
name.
that was her name.
Yeah, but she was on the list
Now, you was in the military years
Right.
ago. Did you have the do not go list?
Oh yeah.
That was the best places to go.
Okay. When I was in the military,
That's exactly what we said in Puerto Rico.
when you
Where should we not go?
when you get when you get to that base, like it's most of the time you go, it's gonna be a group of guys get there and say they're gonna have a meeting with y'all as soon as y'all get out the plane. Do not go this place.
Right.
Do not go here.
Yeah.
This is a street. Don't go on.
Yeah.
These are establishments. Do not go in.
Right.
Yeah.
You know where we all went first.
Absolutely.
When they say don't go,
That's where all the action is.
That's where you want to
That's where
go.
the action is at.
That's where you want to go.
But yeah, man. So we're gonna move on now. This is Noonish Sports and Tech. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what time it is. Y'all see the man back in the building. This is Valley Toto. What you got for us this week, bro?
I was going to make a shout out, but I was going to make sure I had the names right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Puerto Rico,
Yep.
and I have to say Vince Young, number one.
Yep.
We had a great time with Vince. He was a good dude.
Yep.
But Vince hired somebody to kind of help us out in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Diana Soleil.
Yep.
Diana, she took care of us. She kept us out of trouble.
Absolutely. She took us to the right spot.
She's a sweet lady.
We asked about where we shouldn't go. We didn't go.
Well, she let us think we were getting into some trouble, but
No.
but she
she
kept
took
us
y'all
out.
to the good spot.
Yeah. Got some good food afterwards.
Got some good food.
I ran into an up and coming boxer.
Yeah,
We ran into an up and coming boxer.
What do you say we ran into him? I saw some rough looking dudes over there, like just across the parking lot,
Yeah.
and being the idiot that I am, I just said, I'm gonna go talk to them dudes.
Yep. And the next thing you know, there's conversations going on.
Yeah.
And
good
learned that
time.
we
It's a good time.
were standing next to a future champion boxer. He's an undefeated kid
Okay.
training.
He's working his way up.
Yeah.
We'll be seeing that name one of these days.
Absolutely.
But, anyway, technology.
Yeah.
That's T for timeout or T for technology?
T for tech, baby.
T for technical.
Technical right now. Wow.
Technology, man. So we have, I don't know if we've talked about this AI and Chat GPT. Have you heard about that?
I've never heard of AI
Never heard of that stuff?
outside of the guy that wore number 3 for Georgetown and the Philadelphia 76ers.
It had to be somebody.
And a Chat GPT. What?
Chat GPT.
Is that something like a GPS location services?
Well, this thing has,
It's all over the place.
it's all over the place. I'll just tell you, if you see the app on your iPhone or Android phone that says powered by ChatGPT, just be aware that while it is powered by ChatGPT, it is not produced by the same people.
Yeah. Difference there.
If you're paying those people, you could just as easily be paying OpenAI.
Yep.
Just saying. And
Getting the
better
real
quality.
deal. Holyfield,
But this ChatGPT is not especially new, except for the marketing. And ChatGPT has done magic with marketing because it seems like everybody and their brother is hearing about this now.
Yep.
Which is good for their stock prices, but
I didn't even think about that. Oh my gosh.
right?
It's probably still a good time to get in on ChatGPT right now.
Well, maybe, might be.
I think it's still a lot of people that haven't adopted it just yet. They don't really understand what
It's kind of a big bet,
what it is.
right? Because the European Union has decided to put together some regulations that are a mess.
On ChatGPT?
Yeah. Well, not specifically on ChatGPT, on any kind of artificial intelligence.
Yeah, well, does that, I mean, it's the European Union. So how does that affect us here?
They have what they call extrajudicial, damn.
Say it. Come on.
They have it so that if you do something with an AI in another country, they can still come after you.
You just went Elmer Fudd on me, bro.
I sure did. Extrajudicial pursuit.
Is that what it is?
And our good friend Vicky Smoyer, he's an intellectual property attorney, that if you need something trademark, patented, or copyrighted, you should check her out.
I need to hit her up.
But she would laugh at me for not getting that just right. Yeah, so they among other things that are really really awful with this thing, one of the things is that you can do something in the Bahamas, and if somebody in the European Union says, "Hey, I don't like what they're doing over there. I'm going to file a lawsuit," then they're going to start pursuing that by law, like
Even
this is
in
one of the
another
laws,
nation.
even in another country. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Not even
That
something
don't even
European.
how. That's the extra.
Well, kind of the same way that they did with the GDPR, the General Data Protection Rights, whatever it stands for.
So it becomes like a world law.
It's going to end up anybody who does business globally, which, let's face it, is basically everybody these days. Certainly anybody in technology is going to end up being one way or another being bound by these regulations. They're either going to not be able to do business in anything at all to do with the EU, or they're going to be bound by those regulations.
That's jacked up. That's more power than. That's like the World Drug Organization.
Yeah. Well, I mean, realistically, I think we're at a stage.
WADA.
The World
Anti-Drug, Anti-Doping Association. Yeah, it's like that, but for technology almost.
Kind of, yeah. It kind of is, and so that's bad enough. But there's other provisions in there where there's a lot of stuff where they're just really vague about what their terminology is, and so that's just the EU. There will be others.
Yeah,
the EU is a big part of the world economy, so that matters. The U.S., we have people that are talking about this as well. The head of OpenAI, the CEO of OpenAI, I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Yeah. Zuckerberg?
No. But they did have the CEO of OpenAI testify before Congress. The two things that stand out there is, one, it is very, very clear, as it always is, that the people in Congress have no fucking clue what they're talking about.
Absolutely. And why would they even go to government is the clunkiest technology. They got the worst websites. So why would you go to them?
Right.
Anything technology related.
Right. So, yeah. So, unfortunately, that's the people that make the laws. But,
well, they need to figure that out. They need a technology council.
The other thing that was interesting there, before the FBI comes knocking on the door, was that the CEO of OpenAI, the people who make ChatGPT, people who probably have made the most in stock prices on AI in the last few months, also says, "Oh, you know what? You do need to regulate AI. AI needs to be regulated."
Well, yeah. I mean, I think Elon Musk brought that up.
Let me remind you that this is while he's sitting in front of Congress and can influence what those regulations are.
Absolutely.
So,
I mean, but as he should, though.
Well,
because he's got foresight Congress doesn't have, so he should be in the room during that conversation.
Sure, but he's also got a vested interest in the outcome of that.
I don't mind if everything is funded through OpenAI. I know that's a monopoly, and it shouldn't be that way. With any type of, that's like media coming through one outlet. You don't.
Well, this is the same guy who said that large language models are dead. We've done all we can do with that, and there's nothing new there. So he doesn't have anywhere to go from where he is now.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, the same guy is saying, "You know what? We probably do need some regulation on this."
Yeah.
So kind of like when Elon Musk one day says, "Oh yeah, this AI stuff's dangerous. We need to regulate the shit out of it."
Like we need like a 6-month hiatus or something.
And the next day he goes out and spends billions on buying GPUs so he can train AI.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see where you're going there.
Yeah.
I see what the strategy is.
Yeah.
Yeah, all these big names that are involved in the business are going to pursue the regulations and the strategies that help them.
Yeah. Absolutely.
As you would. But don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by the words they say. Look at like you said.
The agenda. They got an agenda.
I can't hear what you're saying because
what you're doing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. No,
it's the same thing.
No, it's
they're gonna talk the talk that gets them the most money.
Absolutely. Now it's very interesting.
And I'm not opposed to that.
I feel better about that guy doing it as opposed to someone that doesn't know exactly what they're talking about and still trying to have some say so?
Yes. So that's a good point. That's a good point, and I think that's important as we're talking about not only the people side of this thing, people having influence, but also in terms of machines having influence over people.
Yeah.
Because I definitely don't have a problem with them having their say.
Yeah.
Should have their say, except for maybe Elon Musk. But
So he's full of it, bro?
yes, and feel free to step in the ring.
I want to dig into that. I want to dig into that and understand why he's saying that. But
I love the guy in a lot of ways, but when he's on Twitter or talking in public, he's
absolutely, bro. He's a business, so
right.
He's gonna do.
And he's built a brand off of talking shit.
Yeah, that he's gonna
Right.
capitalize.
He's like the Macho Man Randy Savage of the tech world.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, based off of his words, he alone can influence the market, bro.
Yeah.
Off of his words, not his actions.
All right.
Like you said, he said one thing and did something completely different the next day.
Right.
But he can influence it to capitalize on it.
And how does that work?
If you had that,
And how does that work?
do we call that control of power?
It's not. It's control. It's not power. It's control.
Yeah. So if you had that control,
where does the control come from? The control comes from a bunch of dumbasses listen to him.
Absolutely. But if you had that control, and Tesla had a down January, and it was February.
There is a reason why. There is a reason why God knows that I do not need to be a multi-billionaire. That is not an accident.
Yeah, it'd be too much going on. You wouldn't Brett Favre it up out there, would you?
You know what? I see what you did there.
You wouldn't Brett Favre it up though. I don't think you Brett Favre it up. Brett Favre has been going nuts. He's been going nuts, but I don't even drop names.
I got more class than that.
Yeah. Favre.
I need the Favre.
I like the Favre football player, but the Favre after football life, he tripped that off.
Oh yeah.
Hey, that's a whole other subject. Anyway, on the subject of, so I think that the tech bros should get their say just like anybody else. The problem is we also need the just like anybody else. There needs to be some people who do not have a vested interest in the outcome of in OpenAI winning,
Absolutely,
or SpaceX winning, or whatever. There needs to be like that's what this whole democratic process, this whole whatever we call this thing that we're doing here in this country. That's how it works.
But how
everybody needs to get a say. Not everybody, but enough people who have the knowledge and understanding of what's going on need to be brought in. With competition.
So you saying people with the knowledge as to what's going on that don't have a vested interest in those companies?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Like, we have, not to get too deep into the politics, but we have recently kind of taken a turn where we don't like academics. And a lot of that is deserved. There's been a lot of academics that have done some stupid things and said some really stupid things. But at the same time, that's also where, especially in the engineering stuff, where the results are a little easier to quantify. Like that is your reserve of knowledge of things that aren't tied so tightly to a specific company and their stock price.
My whole thing is, who do you trust more? Right? Like,
trust
I
me.
love shoes. I love shoes, but I can't go make a Nike. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I trust Nike when it comes to making shoes, even though I love the way certain shoes look and how they feel. But I can't make it.
Right.
So do you trust? I mean, who do you trust more? My opinion, or does it all work together? And I think that's really how
I trust. I'm gonna go to the store and try on some different shoes.
You know what I'm saying? But
I want to have a selection.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be Nike Flyknit and Nike
Air Max
and
Jordans.
Nike Jordans.
Yeah.
I want it to be, Nike Jordans and
Adidas
Brooks
and-
Cliftons and
Brooks
Adidas and I mean, give me some damn some real choices.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what, like, when we talk about Amazon, think Amazon is great. I love the fact that I can just order something and it just shows up. It's
But you got Alibaba,
yeah, that's
and you got Walmart.
that's an option.
Is Alibaba even
I guess Walmart.
Is Alibaba in America?
You can order. It's possible. It's not. It's certainly not as convenient as Amazon.
For sure.
But having like we're supposed to be based on capitalism,
Free
democracy,
enterprise.
free enterprise.
Yeah, but it's
And
absolute monopolies.
what we have is
baby.
yeah, that's a
Big bank take little bank.
that's another discussion where monopolies are okay as long as the government is okay with it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
well, there's no monopoly because it's Walmart and Amazon.
right. Well, there's no monopoly on the electric company because even though the actual power generation and the power lines are all owned by one company, you can buy it through a different company.
Encore will provide all of these subcontractors the opportunity to provide.
So it doesn't matter which one of those companies you're buying it from.
It's all coming back to the source. Hey, boy, I wish my last name was Encore.
Yeah. And so
Boy,
what
that's control.
What I feel like some of these companies are going to ask for, because we've seen it happen before in technology, is that only certain companies or only companies of a certain size or whatever their metric is will be allowed to do AI.
Yeah.
And the reason they'll do that is because that's where the money is. Whereas what they don't want to happen is, as is already happening, is that, well, hey, you know
Once
what?
bad actors get in the game.
Anybody can actually do this. It's like the thing with the LLM was not that it was super hard to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not easy, but it's not out of the reach of a bunch of college kids.
You got to be a very disconnected human.
But it required a lot of money up until very, very, like literally in the last couple of months.
Yeah.
And as things progress, as technology progresses, this type of technology gets cheaper and cheaper to produce. And it gets easier to produce because once you figured it out one time, somebody else says, "Oh, well, they figured it out. I can figure it out too."
It was brought to my
And that's
attention.
what is happening.
It was brought to my attention that ChatGPT was developed at Harvard. And
Arguably, some of the technology was
a program where they were digitizing everything,
And that's
which allowed for
somewhat true. Yeah,
the creation of
it's
ChatGPT.
like kinda, sorta. Yeah, it's not entirely wrong.
And I recently hung out with one of our old friends. You know,
Yeah.
he's one of my oldest friends.
Yeah.
You know.
I feel like I probably know who you're talking about. So you
That informed me of this. You know, so I was like, that is very
if it's who
interesting.
I'm thinking about, he probably informed you a lot.
Yeah, it was very, very interesting.
I didn't
Very
say he
interesting.
informed you about a lot. I said he informed you a lot.
A lot, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
No, I love that guy. I'd like to get to talk to him about it too.
Yeah, man, I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah,
That's what came
that's,
to life.
that is not the only source, but that's one of the sources of stuff. Which brings up another problem with ChatGPT, OpenAI, who's the maker of ChatGPT, and some of the others, which is how I have been spending a lot of time talking to Vicky Smollier.
Hold on, real quick. Have you ever used ChatGPT?
No, I have never used it.
Okay, we got to talk about this here in just a second.
But
Vicky
we'll
Smollier.
work on that.
Vicky
So
Smollier.
it's intellectual property attorney, and what she's talking about is that there are a lot of problems with copyright law and these large language models, as well as the image like Dolly and so on, the ones that produce the images.
I mean, but you can't copyright anything from ChatGPT because
You can't copyright anything produced by ChatGPT because copyright law is currently very specific that it has to be predominantly made by a human.
Yeah.
Like that is the actual words.
So I think that's pretty cut and dry. Like, why is there?
That's not the question. The question is, where did all that content come from that they trained it on?
Was that copyrighted material?
Was it copyrighted material? Unquestionably, it was.
Yes.
Because in some cases, well, first of all, I can.
But it's taking the compilation of the copyrighted material. You think?
Does that mean that it's not copyrighted? If you take,
I mean, you still that's like writing a paper. You still have to write out the what do they call the person that wrote it in the book?
The bibliography.
Yeah, you still got to write that stuff out.
Yeah.
But not the bibliography.
Where it tells you who wrote it originally. Footnotes. That might be the other thing.
It's footnotes, and it's I can't think of the academic term right now.
Bibliography.
It's not the bibliography, is it? Okay.
I don't know what else it would be.
He don't know, but you don't either, John.
Yeah,
That's why we think of the voice of wisdom.
It's gonna come to mind here to say.
Yeah. Well, bibliography is what I think of because that's what we call it. And,
Yeah.
We usually didn't use footnotes in the style of.
You know, it says the author of the book, the name of the book, the year of the book, and okay. We'll use bibliography right now. Okay.
There is another term for it.
Yeah, but yeah, you would have to show who and where that source came from, right? Where that reference came from.
Right. And so yes. But that's one use of that's one issue of
The
copyright.
Yeah.
There's also so how did they get this stuff in the first place? Right? Okay, so in one case that is one of the largest, like it's the largest it's the largest damages claim. What is the name of the company? It's image something. But basically it's one of those places that has all these clip art images that people take pictures or do their little art and they upload it to the place.
Getty.
Yes, that's it. Getty Images.
Yeah.
That's it. So they have a suit in the UK right now that is the largest damages claim from a technology company ever.
How?
Saying that
AI has taken from their
they're
images.
one of the AI companies has used their images. I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but the evidence is pretty strong because the output that the images that they're showing from this
are a lot of Getty Images.
Have Getty Images watermarks.
Oh my gosh!
All over them.
See, that's the thing. The watermarks.
So
the watermarks. That's crazy.
It's kind of like I don't know what the outcome of that is going to be.
Really handy when you got a watermark on your page,
right? Because it's one thing if you say, okay, well, we bought a license to Getty Images and we paid for a copy of all these images.
Yeah.
Then you've got a real battle because now the court has to decide.
If they paid for the license, yeah, absolutely.
Right.
But
the court has to decide if this is a use that the license allows.
But typically, when you pay for a license, it won't have Getty Images on the image.
Exactly.
So they may have paid. That's when they're gonna go back and look. And I've been through an experience that was traumatic about a date.
I guarantee you.
So they're gonna go back and look at the date from when Getty, I guess, pulled this
They'll be looking
resource,
at that.
and then they go back and look at the date and when this company paid for the license of Getty. Because if it got Getty Images on it, they didn't pay for that.
Right. Or they didn't do a good job of.
Or did Getty mess up, kind of like when you go to the store and they leave a tag on your shirt, and you get home and you find out, really, those little magnetic things.
It's not really Getty's fault in that case. It's the people who pulled in all these images.
But if Getty is like, I'm saying, if it gets through the sales process,
I agree. I think if they have. My opinion of it is, and nobody gives a shit about my opinion, as I've been.
I give a shit about you.
Well, as we talk about this stuff and talking to somebody who's an actual lawyer whose expertise is in this area, it's like, yeah, it doesn't matter what your opinion is.
Yeah, all the facts.
I'm like, no, it doesn't. So
He's gotta eat that.
I just gotta eat that. But really, I do think that this is one of those situations where either one of two things is going to happen. New case law is going to come out that's going to change the way we. I have no hope that the legislature is going to pass anything new in any time that matters. So new case law is going to come out. It's going to change how these things are done.
Or the output that we receive from the
right. Like how either how copyright in the context of training an AI model is interpreted.
Allowed, yeah.
Or and to me, I think that's our best. That's the best outcome.
I mean, but what?
That's still somebody's still be paying. Somebody's going to be paying. There's always money involved with this stuff.
You can't have sketchy information going in.
Correct.
You got to have factual information. So
we're not even talking about facts.
Will that person have to rewrite?
Let me rephrase that. We're not talking about the facts of the information going into the model. We're talking about the facts of who owns that information.
So if I receive the information from this resource, would I then have to rewrite it in my own words and then input it into ChatGPT?
You should probably do that anyway, just in case.
Well, I'm not in college anymore, so I did it pretty well.
Well,
well enough.
You should probably do that anyway. Well, you don't want like anything. So I know that there are people who are using AI language models to, for example, generate proposals.
Yeah.
So they're taking the text of a client meeting or the text of like the actual transcript of a
proposal,
meeting or whatever, and using that to generate proposals for clients.
Yeah,
that's fine. That's but cool. If you're not careful, so number one, we know that these things can leak information, so that's a problem if you're dealing with confidential information.
Yeah,
that's a concern. And two, if everybody's doing that and starting from the same information, all the proposals are going to start looking alike.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, how are you? Why would I buy from you? And are you? I'd rather buy from Monk who's not using it. And,
knowing that he put in the work.
Yeah,
the time, I know his words, his methods.
Because I know who's doing the work on that end.
Yeah.
But if the other thing though is if we don't get new case law, if we don't get a different interpretation, then that means they're going to try to shut some stuff down.
Yeah.
Either literally, they're either literally going to have an injunction or
access
or court action that
be limited
that
to what we could do, or
that you just can't use it. Period.
Yeah. Wow.
Or they're going to stick them with a big damages amount.
Yeah.
That's if the UK case is anything to judge by, is going to be so high that the company, even with Microsoft as a backer, is just not going to pay it.
Yeah. I just don't, man.
Why would you?
I think that ChatGPT is amazing.
Let's walk it back a little bit. Never take these things in isolation, just like you're talking about with the sports thing. All this stuff has happened before. Not this exact thing, but similar things have happened before. So what's happened in the past? Well, in my lifetime, since I've been working in technology, we had Napster.
Yep.
Big deal about Napster. Napster was effectively shut down.
Yeah.
Did anybody stop file sharing?
No.
Wasn't even a hiccup.
They just shut the company down.
We just switched from Napster to other stuff.
Yep.
The whole model of the music industry, as well as video industry, changed because of the technology.
Yeah.
The courts made a decision. The one company was shut down effectively, and lots of uproar, lots of press coverage, lots of people. Look at what we did. The bottom line, the fact remained that the music industry lost billions, trillions of dollars.
They're losing more than that,
and still not back where they were.
Yeah,
and never will be because it's the wrong model.
Yep.
Netflix just annihilated.
Shut down Blockbuster.
Blockbuster's gone.
Yeah, and all the other little movies.
All those other little movies.
Remember grocery stores? You have a little section. You go check out a few
gone.
movies.
The little red box.
Yeah, out of there.
And Netflix was never a sharing platform. They've always been monetized.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is the technology's here. It's not going away.
Yep.
The models are already in the wild. You can go download one for free from Joe Bob.
Yeah.
Right now with that computer. And there's no money changed hands. There's no company to pursue.
Yep.
Like they can come after you, but how many thousands or millions of you are they going to come after?
How much?
Well, maybe they'll use a ChatGPT model to write up.
Is that a valid use of their time?
Well, I mean,
there's
there's always going to be some attorney who's willing to pursue anything for any amount of money.
We're gonna start putting people in jail for watching movies and listening to music. Like, no, that's taking it a little bit too far.
At what point do we have to say, okay, look, we may have won the court case,
but was it worth our time?
But was it worth it?
Was it impactful?
The fact of the matter is that the change has come regardless.
Yep. So now we got to figure out. They got to figure out regulations and how to monetize streaming correctly from an artist standpoint.
Right. And just the same, we're gonna have to figure out how, if you are a content creator of any sort that can be fed into any kind of AI model or a user of AI assisted content.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to figure out how are we going to do business in this new world, because it's here whether you like it or not.
Yeah,
you're not going to put it back.
Also, we need to do something
and look,
regulate these algorithms from stopping stuff when stuff starts firing up.
I don't want to step on anybody's toes who loves music, because I love music too.
Yeah.
But like legitimately, like there's only so much utility that you get out of music.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it's great. I listen to music. I listen to pick me up, listen to it, shut me down. I'm all about some music. Yeah. AI has real business value. Like people who have started to use ChatGPT are seeing right away that stuff that used to take me 2 hours is now taking me 20 minutes.
Have you heard these AI like Drake songs talking about AI and music? Like AI writing music and singing music, sounding like the artists that would have made the song?
Yeah.
It's really good.
And that kind of stuff.
It's really good.
Yeah, well, it's above average.
Yeah.
It's a solid average.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's better than, I'm saying like the imitation is really good.
Right.
Not necessarily saying it's better than what people are doing.
Right.
But it's a dang good carbon copy. That's some great fake Jordans right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
As fake Jordans go, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
They're not just falling apart. They may not be as good as the real thing, but they're not just falling apart.
Same company is making them Jordans.
Well, that's what makes it interesting. Is you're gonna see people who are,
it's crazy.
Companies and people who produce below average content are suddenly going to go up, and companies that insist on using this, like eliminating the people factor, people that are cutting head count, are going to dip towards the average.
Yeah.
And the content creators and the companies who invest in people, both training them up and hiring good people, are and letting them be people, letting them build a following, letting them build a community.
Yeah.
Are gonna go up because
absolutely.
Because that's what happens. There will be more content. More of it will be shit. But
just like an athlete, if you put asses in seats, they're gonna pay you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But you can get eyes to come watch.
Again, we'll be seeing people who will be having a conversation about who the GOAT artist or the GOAT writer was, and it would be me, or my son, that'll be sitting there saying, yeah, but you forgot about so from back in the day before they had all this AI writing for them, and they'll be right. Because there will be people who were able to do it without all the assists, and there will be people who go to new heights, but there'll also be a bunch of,
they wouldn't reach them without them people that took it there.
Right.
So no, that's what's up, man.
But it's not going away.
No, AI's here to stay. Technology, man. You may as well just Adopt it, man. Adopt it slow, fast, however you want to absorb it and take that on in. Go on and take it in because it's coming. You know, you can't stop it. And if you choose not to,
it's like cell phones.
you're going to be Amish.
Like I remember, you remember, because you were probably in school.
Yeah.
when they were like, we're not having any of these cell phones.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
When
yeah.
I was a kid, it was calculators.
Couldn't have a cell phone in the classroom.
We're not having
But-
calculators
but
in
now,
class.
now they're using the cell
Now
phone
they're
in the
using them,
classroom.
yeah.
During tests. It's like, what?
So now we
How
got
can you
we
fail
got
anything?
places that they're going. Well, we're not allowing anybody to use this ChatGPT thing. Well, you know what? You're going to be behind.
Absolutely. You embrace it.
Learn how to use the technology.
Yeah.
Learn how to use it safely.
Yep.
Learn how to use it, with confidentiality in place.
Yep.
But it's there.
Absolutely.
And
Because you're going to be behind.
hiding from it is not going to do you any favors.
Yep.
It's just going to slow you down.
It's going to expose you. And you might go out of business like Blockbuster. So,
But also make sure you put, do some modifications to it because that copyright thing is bitch.
Still got one
Real
blockbuster. There's still one.
there's still one Blockbuster. Where?
Still
But they're not-
Washington? Is it?
It's not Seattle, but it's up that way.
it's
yeah.
either-
So like Tacoma or something?
It's either Washington or Oregon. It's one of Portland or Seattle.
yeah.
It's up
Somewhere
there, it's
up
up
in
there
there.
in
So it's one of
the
those.
Northwest.
Yeah, one blockbuster store.
But it's not owned by Blockbuster anymore. It's like just the people that own that store are still keeping it going.
It's like a museum.
and Blockbuster's
Let
it's like it ain't worth it to us.
Yeah.
The
It's like,
blockbuster name is not worth anything.
yeah.
They're not doing anything. so.
It's like a museum at this
They
point.
probably get more business off the fact that they're the only Blockbuster.
Let's
Oh,
go
yeah.
visit
Well, they
Blockbuster.
did.
Let's go see.
What is this? Like, who has a VCR to even play any of the tapes? Who has a DVD
Oh, man,
player
Block-
anymore?
Yeah, I was gonna say Blockbuster's been on DVDs for a long time.
You know who has a DVD or a Blu-ray? When was the
I
last
guess
time
the
you
same
watched a
person
Blu-ray?
has a CDC player.
Yeah, when was the last time you watched a Blu-ray or a DVD?
Cars don't even come with them DVD players in them.
Don't even cars don't come with them anymore.
No. You gotta have serious satellite or something.
Yep.
I put it this way: I had a Blu-ray DVD player 7 or 8 years ago,
That's
And
almost
you
a
were the
decade
last
ago.
one.
and I don't remember what happened to it. But
Yeah.
my brother-in-law borrowed it.
And how much-
7 or 8 years ago?
How much dust was on it
And
when you let him borrow it?
It was getting pretty dusty when I let him borrow it.
Yeah, so you probably hadn't even used it 7
So I
8
don't-
years ago in like
And
5 or 6 years.
Look, I ain't hunted him down. But
It's like, thank you for getting this up off my
Right.
hands. Yeah.
so yeah, I mean that's where we're at. I mean, if you got an Xbox, that's probably about as close to a.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, even now they're uploading the game to the Xbox.
They're making that more DLC.
Yeah, so that's things are changing. Times are changing.
Changing fast too.
Yeah.
Changing fast.
Change fast, and
Yeah.
whatever you think is going to be this is. Because I remember when CDs came out.
Yep, it's a big
Like,
deal.
this was going to be the thing.
It's a big deal until they start getting
This was gonna be
scratched.
it.
Hey.
Yeah,
I remember
and then
when
we
cassette-
found out.
I remember when cassettes came out.
Yeah.
This is gonna be the
This is
thing.
going to
Yeah.
be it.
Yeah, I remember when iTunes came out, the little iPods.
Yeah.
Now it's just on people's phone. When's the last time you saw an iPod?
Matter of fact, I can tell you to the day the last time I saw an iPod.
When?
It was last year at the World Food Competition in Dallas.
Somebody had an
Because
iPod?
they use the iPod. They have iPods hooked up to run the timers. Because they have all these different timers, and the iPods are cheap
Yeah.
because don't nobody want it.
Don't nobody.
I want them.
Nobody. It's all on the
And
phones.
all
man.
it needs is a little
Yeah.
app to run that timer. So,
Yeah. Wow, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah. So they're not even using
but
music anymore.
we didn't even use that for the finals.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
We just
Things
use laptops.
changing, man, constantly, man. Stay up with the times. Don't get caught behind, man. That's
Yeah.
not where you want to be.
Man, we just sound like a bunch of old men up in here talking about that's not the way it used to be in the old days.
Hey, we sound relevant to the mob, bro. We own our stuff, so it is
Yeah.
what it is. But I think it's good to have knowledge of both sides of the fence.
Well,
because
it's
if we
important
got hacked
to-
and everything went to nothing,
Yeah,
we would
yeah.
still know how to function.
But it's also important to look at. I think it's important to, especially with everything in technology and politics and all these other things going on in the world. Like, pay attention to history. Like, I'm not talking about like 1492 Columbus sailed, not that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, just look at history. Look at what happened, what people were saying, what people were doing around the time of when Napster came out.
Yeah.
Around the time of Dr. King was doing speeches. Like if you understand, if you look at those things, don't worry about the dates.
Yeah.
Don't worry about, memorizing presidents so much, but look at what people were doing, what people were talking about throughout history.
Behaviors.
How people were acting, what they were saying, and all that kind of stuff. You learn a lot, and you start seeing, like, there is a pattern to all this stuff.
Absolutely.
And there is some stuff that, actually, that's not as bad as I thought it was.
Right now, I want to pull them reins. Whoa, Kim Wasabi, slow down a little bit.
Well, you start to see that there's
things much quicker.
Oh yeah.
Right, much quicker. Things are moving quickly now.
Yeah,
so
that's what they were saying back in the 20s when Henry Ford had all of them. This technology is moving too fast.
Yeah,
These cars are just too fast. 15 miles an hour. Ain't no reason why any human being needs to go that fast.
I can run that
This thing
fast.
go twice as fast as a horse, man. It's going too fast.
Yeah. No,
So it just helps you. A historical perspective helps you put current events in perspective.
Absolutely, and purposes and reasons why.
Yeah, reasons why things happen. What
The good and the
what
bad.
you should pay attention to. And
Yep. Absolutely.
Nah, people ain't talking about that.
Right on. Well, man, hold on, man. Look at that. The screen that went out on me. We've been
That's all
getting
right.
it in.
We've digressed quite a
We've been
bit.
getting it in.
Yeah.
I say that much. We've been getting it in, man. But no, that was, like I said, I love the tech. I love tech talk. That's like my favorite. Whoa, that's the wrong.
That's Apple
screen.
TV.
What?
Speaking of
It's
of streaming video,
making a mockery out of me right now, But no, it's all
Technology's
good,
kicking
man.
its butt.
We just need this thing to come on. There it is. So we're gonna edit that here in the post to where y'all don't even know it went out.
they're gonna edit it in the post so they won't hear me say the technology's kicking your butt.
Yep, action. Man, I'm telling you, technology is kicking my butt, But it was kicking my butt. But we back on board right now. But man, thank y'all very much for coming in, tuning in to another incredible week of Noonish, man. We have such a great time. Hope y'all had a good time too. El Don and Toto. We'll see y'all next week.
We out.
Peace.